Hi there everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is time for the big one, preview to Palace versus Brighton. All week my heart's been going a million miles an hour, definitely now 24 hours before kickoff, or just over. Starting to get a little nervy, butterflies. It's that big game feeling that I'm sure obviously fans of other clubs will not understand it, and that's rightfully so. I don't expect them to. The history of this fixture, why it's so important between the Brighton and Palace fans, why it is a rivalry built on hatred, and how the origins of it explain why it's such a heated fixture, why both sets of fans hate each other, and why this fixture, the home and away fixture, why it matters so much to both sets of fans. And I'm quite nervous about it because obviously last season, I'm confident that we'll come back, and we will come back stronger than we did last season, because last season them doing the double over us was unforgivable. It ruined last season, to be honest. Even more worried about that result, that are them getting the double over us, than them and then Watford beating us in the FA Cup quarter-final, to be honest. I was much more upset about the Brighton fixture. I was at both games as well. The away one was just awful. 3-0 down at half-time, unforgivable stuff. So there's a lot that the boys have to improve on, obviously this season, and they cannot let that happen again. I think that we have to look to go undefeated against them this season, starting with this fixture at Selhurst Park Monday night, tomorrow. I will be there, of course. If any of you are around the ground, let me know in the comments, and feel free to come and say hi at the Homestead end. Let's get into it. Basically, I do think that we will start with the same lineup as played against Watford. And I do think that obviously Jairo Riedewald will come in for Schlupp, because Schlupp got injured in that game midway through. I do think Riedewald, you look in the past, some people are a bit here and there about him, don't think he's good enough. To be fair, the loyalty shown to the club to stick with us, even though obviously it's not worked out for him. The ball going after 4 games absolutely ruined his career at Palace. I do feel for him, because I think he is a very good player. I think he is one of the better ball-playing players in the squad. It's just we don't see enough of him. And the fact that you look at that one performance he did at home to City a few years ago, when we ended their winning streak. We obviously missed the pen in the last minute to win it, but we got a 0-0 draw against the team that would eventually go on to be Centurions that season. Amazing performance, and Riedewald started in defensive midfield in that game, and arguably man of the match in that fixture for me. Absolutely unbelievable. Then he's been out of the squad ever since, and he came back in that second half against Watford and did very well at left back, a position where he has played for Ajax. So I do think he'll slot in there, and I'm not too worried about that. I feel confident that in big games like the City game, he will step up to the plate and he will deliver, and he'll give his all for the team. And Roy's come out and said in his press conference about how impressed he's been with the attitude Jairo's shown in training, and to stick with it in the squad despite not getting much game time. So fair play to him, and I really hope that it works out for him tomorrow. I think everyone's got their fingers crossed it will, but I have got confidence in him. And I think, if anything for Brighton, that is probably the one area they would target. But I feel confident that if he picks up the ball, he'll be able to pick out a pass. That is his strength, is his ball playing ability. And defensively, I think he's good enough as well. So he's got experience at the top level in Champions League football. He's played whilst at Ajax, so he's got experience. So I'm not too concerned there. I think the rest of the team speaks for itself. There were question marks over Zaha's fitness. Luckily, we saw training photos yesterday on Instagram, Twitter, and he was in the training photos. So I think he will be fully fit for this game, which is crucial. And every time we play Brighton, you feel Zaha steps up to the occasion. Obviously, last season wasn't quite his wasn't his day away at Brighton. I thought we played a lot better in the home game. But yeah, this is the game, this is the fixture that you just feel he's bought ever since that FA Cup, the playoff semi-final, that away leg, those 2 goals, making him a legend of the club. That this fixture is part of him. This is what made him the player he is now. Was that Brighton performance? Also the goal he scored to end Brighton's unbeaten streak at their new stadium back in 2011, I believe it was. Beat them 3-1 from 1-0 down. We are ingrained in their history. We are a massive part of Brighton's history, and Zaha is a massive part of their history, and of course ours. These big moments over the years against our bitter rivals, and he has performed in them. So I have got the confidence that he'll step up to the plate this time. Of course, players to watch on their side, I think Mopé up front was a player that I wanted Palace to get in the summer, to be honest, and I was a bit gutted he went to Brighton, and he's obviously starting to hit form now for them as well, so he's going to be a handful for sure. But again, if Cahill's fit, which it's looking like he could be, if he slots in next to Tompkins, I'm confident that he can deal with him. He's got the experience, of course. I'm just, saying what I've said every week, but Kale's experience, his knowledge of the game, the fixtures he's played in, the massive fixtures, he's won it all at every level. So I think that he'll be absolutely fine in coping with him. There will be goals in this. I can't see it being a clean sheet from either side. As I said, I'm nervous about it, but it's a combination of nerves that we cannot afford to lose this. In my opinion, really can't. Just not because of our place in the league, just because of purely selfish reasons. It's a rivalry. We cannot let them have the upper hand on us this season after what happened last season. In my mind, there's no debate about it. We are the bigger club. We have the better history. Well, I think they've only finished above us twice in their history. There's no doubt about it with a bigger club, but we can't be letting them having any sort of bragging rights over us after what happened last season. We can't let them continue that onto this season. So it's a massive, massive fixture. And I know, and as I said, nervous, but it's a mixture of nerves about losing the game, but also anticipation, butterflies in the stomach, ready to go to Selhurst. And it was going to be obviously a cracking atmosphere, fanatics up for it, make it an intimidating atmosphere under the lights. I think it'll be the first time we played under the lights against them since the first leg of the playoffs. And of course, that season in the league, when we got promoted, we beat them 3-0 under the lights at Selhurst Park as well. So good history recently when we have played them under the lights at Selhurst. I think this is geared towards a Palace win, but it's a massive rivalry. You never know what's going to happen. Let me know, comments down below. It's a short preview, this one. It's more just building everyone up, getting my thoughts out on the game going into it. And honestly, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm confident that the big players like Zaha, that massive role that Riedewald will have if he does start in that position, the centre backs with Mopé, they're the key battles for me over the 90 minutes. I'm confident that those players will step up to the plate and deliver the result that we really desperately need to get against them. They're in our pockets. There is no doubt about it that they dream of getting the results that we've got over them in recent years. And last year, I'm confident that was a blip. Let's get it out of our system. Roy, do the right thing. Get it drilled into the players' heads that this is a must-win game. The fans are going to be obviously up for it. This is the only fixture we care about over the course of the season. And I really hope Roy and the coaching staff and the players, the senior players, Luca, Wilf, of course, Scott Dan, some of the senior players drill it into everyone else's heads, the new boys in there as well, that how important this fixture is. And I'm confident if everyone's on sync and everyone understands the importance of it and the history of this fixture, we'll get it over the line. I think we've got that grit in us this season that we can get it over the line, and it'll be a massive 3 points, not just because of the rivalry, but also in terms of the league position as well. So comment your thoughts down below, guys. Love to hear your thoughts. I will probably be doing I might be doing a live Twitter feed tomorrow going into the game, and I will be doing some video stuff as well around the game, possibly tomorrow, maybe later today. I'm not too sure, but I will be doing some more stuff on this fixture, of course, because it's such a big game, and as you can tell, I'm quite nervous about it mainly because of excitement. I'm ready for it. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Comment your thoughts down below. Palace, Brighton. It's time. Let's do it.